let's get into this news item here. She broke up with him on Love is Blind. Now, that's a TV show. But what we see here in this skit, that I guess it's reality TV. I don't know anything about it. What we see here is so typical for Western civilization and our relationships that it is worth sharing, even though it's reality television. Something called Love is Blind. Now, what was her objection to marrying this guy on the show? The objection was that he is not anti-white enough. Specifically, she felt on the subject matter of BLM, LGBTQ, and vaccines. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, as I was when I first saw that, you might be thinking to yourself, whoa, is this some guy? Is this some kind of like kick-ass, totally based guy? Was he like, screw them, screw all that? No. He just wasn't anti-white. He just didn't hold these, he just was not in favor. He was like, I haven't thought about it. She says as much. Hadn't thought about it. What about LGBTQ plus, etc.? Hadn't thought about it. What about vaccines? Hadn't thought about it. I observed, and I write about this in my book, Crucible. Those who have read Crucible are totally epic. They're epical men and women. And you will find in Crucible where I wrestled with this phenomenon of the boys having this attraction for the females, greater, stronger attraction for the females than they have for the boys, certainly for the vast majority of the boys. They have plenty of attraction for the prettiest faced 10%. And as a consequence, the boys were willing to modify their behavior to get a date, to get attention, to get girls to talk with them. It's a great injury. And I in Crucible, I write about this. All of us get to this point, all of us young guys, we get to this point where we don't quite know why, but we discover that we want females to smile at us. We discover that we would like to have conversation. We would like for them to enjoy a conversation with us. But females, and I write about this in Crucible, and if I would have had time, I would have pulled it out and read some of the snippets for you. They are concerned with fashion, not only of attire and makeup and hairdo, but with ideological fashion. What's the most fashionable thing? What's the opinion that everybody else is holding? And they are far more, at least in my estimation, as I observed these things, they are far more inclined to submit themselves and become fanatical about the ideological fashion. Now, in Crucible, I was able to overcome this. I became, by the end of those 2 years, I became the lord of this 1,000+ student body because of my advocacy based in morality for white well-being. You too this can be a microcosm for the macrocosm that is our totality of our people, the West, etc. You too can become one of these kick-ass winners in your environment, wherever that might be. And I want you and I need you to become that hero. I want you and I need you to become that guy or that woman at work, in friend circles, that leads the way, that says enough is enough. We are moral. We are taking back our destiny. No one has to be victimized as a consequence of ending our victimization. And that is that. And as a consequence of that righteous moral leadership, to influence those in your circles. This is what we need. This is what I inspire you to do in Crucible. Everybody who reads it comes back and says, that's the story of my life. All of the anti-whiteism they experience. Well, we saw with the females in school, and we see all the way up through adulthood, the same sort of submissiveness to what is ideologically fashionable. And of course, it diminishes some as they get older. It diminishes some when they get their own job and they can afford their own place to live and they don't need friends so much anymore. And especially if they're a little bit of a loner, then they are more inclined to come out with some more opinions of their own. But even in these such people, they go into these conservative environments and they continue to measure their morality by way of the anti-white benchmark. We have to address that. We've got to take it back. So here we have a perfect example. Now, on this show, did they want her to do this? Was this going to be big TV? Was it going to be? Probably so. Probably so. They probably said, as is the case with all reality TV, that they're steering it here and there, and then they're letting them make their mistakes and etc. Probably the case. But it's reasonable because it happens in everybody's life. So nobody looks at this on this TV series and says, no, this is ridiculous. Nothing like this would ever happen in the real world. I'm turning it off. No, indeed, we see that this happens all the time in the real world. So let's have a look. They have gone to the altar and it's make or break. And here she has to share what she has to share.
To be on the same wavelength. And so today I can't. I'm sorry, but I don't want that to be misunderstood. I still love you and everything about you is amazing. And I care about you so much.
Look at this guy. Why does he care? He could go right out and have any white woman he wants. He's going to get their attention immediately, and they're going to be coming over. Please, will you talk to me? But he is such a just insufferable cuck, as so many white guys are today. It's just like, well, what do you need, honey? In fact, listen to what this guy actually says.
I care about you too. I love you so much. I know I want to stay with you. Keep growing our relationship.
Keep growing our relationship. He sounds like he doesn't have an ounce of testosterone in his body.
If you'll let me.
If you'll let me. Is that what he said? That can't be right.
Keep growing our relationship. If you'll let me.
If you'll let me. That is exactly what he says. If you'll let me, please, if you'll let me. This is pathetic. This is a boy. The odds that he'll ever become a man are nearly zero.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'll decide how high you'll jump.
We'll talk about that. I know that the connection we have is so real, and my heart is there. But we talked about a lot of the values that I hold.
There you go. You talked about a lot of the values I hold, and I'm anti-white, and you're just not thinking about it. You need to be anti-white too.
Close to my heart, making this decision, my mind is telling me I can't. Are you okay? See me in the back.
All right, let's jump forward.
I just hope I made the right decision.
This is the kind of garbage television that we need to wean, really, best case scenario, we wean people off of. But until then, as we recapture our destiny, we need to be making such entertainment, even garbage entertainment like this, that is a lived experience for our people. In particular, it's going to be mostly females. And we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do the white positive thing.
Oh my goodness.
Love you.
Love you.
It was a lot, but we're rolling with it. I just want to talk to her. Yeah.
Was it like the time frame? I mean, I knew the whole time coming this, the time frame. Like, that's not, like, I feel like I knew it. Like, really. Yeah. I remember, like, I asked him about, like, Black Lives Matter, and
I asked him about, and she says, and I'm not an expert. I'm no expert on Black Lives Matter. I just know that the benchmark in the West is anti-whiteism. So I needed to make sure that he is anti-white just like me. Really, this little garbage reality television show is demonstrating a norm and sickness for the West today in every white relationship. Let me ask you, how many Jewish guys are called on the carpet and then submit themselves to a Jewish woman that says, hey, you know what? You need to be for all of these different things that harm our people. I wonder how many Jewish women do. I'm going to go ahead and guess zero. I'm going to guess zero. I wonder how many black women, like we're looking in part one of today's gathering, how many black women writing for some pinky in the air, Urbane magazine, are saying, you know what? If you're going to be with me, you've got to endorse all of these policies, agenda, positions, organizational entities that are harmful to the Black race. Zero. We are the only race. It's time to take the hard pill. The only race that does this. It's time to start talking about us. It's time to start talking about our sickness. It's time to start talking about the lack of masculinity in our men. It's time to start talking about this officiousness, boss bitch behavior in our women. It's time to start talking about these things.
I'm no expert, but like when I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I never really thought too much.
He said, the pretty guy, both of these are very pretty people. The pretty guy there said, I guess I've never really thought too much about it being Black Lives Matter. I have seen this again and again and again in the real world. This happening in relationships.
About it, that affected me, especially in our own city. Like, how could it not? How did it not make you think about something? Like, I asked him to.
And there he is all by himself.
Like, what his church's views are. And he said he didn't know.
Asked about what his church's views are. This is obviously going to be referencing the LGBTQ part.
And so then I watched.
They're laughing at because he doesn't know his church's views on these things. He does know. Likely the church embraces it, but he's really indifferent. He wants to climb the social ladder. He wants to get in between. He wants to get in the sheets, in between the sheets, make it a little less lewd here. He wants to get in between the sheets of as many attractive women, mid women, even below mid women as he can. He doesn't care about white people. He doesn't care about white well-being. When he looks over at the right, what does he see? He sees the cucks and the schmucks. He's like, why would I bother with any of that? He's living large. He has a harem.
Sermon online. His church. About, sexual identity.
About his church about sexual identity.
And it was traditional. I told that to Greg. And he doesn't really have much to say about it, you know? I want him to think about it.
Again, he doesn't have much to say about it. All that she's saying is he is not submitting, he is not pledging allegiance to this anti-white benchmark in our society. He would not have to be, at least for this one, he wouldn't have to be an advocate. He wouldn't have to be a champion. She's just saying, hey, if anybody is to know what our position is, it's anti-white. Are you with me on it? And the guy's like, I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Sometimes I did wonder if it was surface on carefree love that we had, equality, religion.
Equality, in quotes, of course, anti-whiteism. How many of you have experienced this with potential partners? How many of you gone on a date and you hear this potential partner on the date essentially demand that you submit yourself to anti-white benchmarks? I think we all have had it. And of course, for me, that's it. That's the end of it. Done. In fact, you all probably remember at least part of a story where I helped a female out of my vehicle on the shoulder of a road because she decided she was having a tantrum and she wanted to demand of me that I be anti-white and that submit myself. And I said, well, let me just show you how the brakes work on this vehicle.
The vaccine.
And the vaccine. And she goes on and on. Maybe you get up as a la this television network and you get up to the altar and they're like, no, for, of course, the big ratings, for the big shock. And naturally, the anti-whites on this show, what do they want to do on top of that? There are many anti-white motives here. Anti-white motives for this female, anti-white motives for the people on the show. What is it that the anti-whites do that produce this garbage? Well, they want to convey to the white female population, primarily, but secondarily to the white male population, you've got to submit yourself to the benchmark of anti-whiteism, the social morality of the West. Because if you don't, then the good-looking girl is going to leave you. If you don't have these positions, then you're going to remain unmarried to think about it, and you'll have to say these supplicating, servile statements of I will grow with us. I will do whatever you say, like this guy said. What a joke! How